Hello everyone, tonight on our program, Ghana Meteorological Agency deprived of huge sums of money as Ghana Airports Company and Ghana Civil Aviation Authority failed to honor financial obligations.
Long period of disagreement between GMET and these two agencies over the payment for aeronautical meteorological services that GMET renders to both institutions, without which they cannot function, without which our airports cannot function.
Also tonight, as fuel prices hit almost 8 cedis a litre, former Finance Minister said Tekwe has an advice on how government can keep prices low.
I would say counter-cyclical. It means certain things move in cycles, right? So you have commodity prices going up, up, then it goes down, right? Then as if in the pendulum keeps swinging, and then it goes up again.
And a new World Bank report indicates that Ghana accumulated significant arrears prior to COVID-19 pandemic, as it is ranked 16th in sub-Saharan Africa with highest government arrears. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for joining us tonight. Details right after this. To begin with, tonight, the failure of the Ghana Airports Company and the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority to honor financial obligations to the Meteorological Service has deprived the agency huge sums of money. At a short ceremony to inaugurate the newly reconstituted board of the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Minister for Communications and Digitalization charged the new board to chart a new path for both state agencies to honor their obligations in order to keep the agency in business.
The situation of non-payment of service charge to the Meteorological Agency has compelled it to seek government intervention and external funding to keep running. According to Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esla Owusu Ekufo, this has deprived the agency of needed resources to be able to embark on its plans. She charged the newly reconstituted 11-member board to find a lasting solution to the menace.
The amendment came on the back of a long period of disagreement between GMET and these two agencies over the payment for aeronautical meteorological services that GMET renders to both institutions, without which they cannot function, without which our airports cannot function. Despite the amendment, the two institutions have still not honored their obligations to GMET, making it difficult for the agency to secure the much-needed revenue for its operations. To be able to provide us with accurate forecasts and accurate meteorological information, they need up-to-date equipment and training for their staff, and they need visibility over what's happening in the skies above. They need functional radars and stuff, and it all takes money.
The board chairman, George Isaac Amo, pledged to pursue the matter to its logical conclusion in order to raise funds for their modernization agenda.
That we are children of the same parent, of the government of Ghana. How do we, because under the act establishing GMET, we are to sue and be sued under our seal. There has been agitations among staff. A lot of talking has been going on. But the contention is, how long can we sustain it? When they read other news articles about some of these other state agencies doing certain things. And what they could also have done if they were to have their wherewithal is not inflowing, becomes very disturbing.
Due to the lack of funds for its smooth operations and failing to pay renewal fees, external auditors have suspended the International Standard Organization certification of Ghana Meteorological Agency.
Meantime, the Minister of Communications and Digitalization, Esther Kufuor, has urged the newly reconstituted board of Ghana Post Limited to strive to be the courier of choice for delivery services in the country. According to her, the delivery and logistics services sector has become a critical point with huge potential, hence the need for Ghana Post to take advantage of the opportunities. She gave the charge after swearing in the newly reconstituted board of the Ghana Post Company Limited.
Ghana Post has been transformed and continues to compete favorably in the postal and courier industry, both internally and externally, due to the hard work and contribution of board management and staff in the past 5 years. So you can give yourself a little pat on the back for good work done. But that doesn't mean you should go to sleep. Over the past 5 years as well, you've shown the potential that you have to become a leader in the courier and logistics services space in this country, and to provide other job opportunities as well to our young people.
Well, Chairman of the 7-member board, George Afezi Hayford, expressed confidence the new board will do more to make the company profitable.
It's now coming to fruition. So we took all these things into account. The economy needs competition anyway, but we have to make sure that we are ahead of the competition. And that's what we are aiming to do. That's what we're doing, and that's what we're still going to continue doing.
She also spoke about network connectivity. I mean, turning some of your old post offices into e-services and all that. Moving forward, what are we going to say from you guys?
We started with that, and we have about 350 post offices around the country. And it's not easy getting them all connected, since we're doing it in phases. So we've done a few, we're moving forward on it, and I think within the next 2 or 3 years, we should be able to cover the rest. So,
when you say the rest, how many are we talking about here?
About 200 post offices.
Let's turn to another story we are following for you. Fuel prices have hit almost 8 cedis a litre, following about 4% increase in prices of petroleum products at the pumps beginning yesterday. As usual, Total has taken the lead, selling both a litre of petrol and diesel at 7 cedis 99 pesos. It is expected that the other oil marketing companies will follow suit, particularly leading firms such as Shell, Guel, and Puma. Meanwhile, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers insists government can do something about the rising fuel prices to cushion consumers. Meanwhile, former Finance Minister Setekpe is calling for a counter-cyclical policy, including strategic stock to address the rising fuel prices on the market. According to him, adequate petroleum stocks in times of low price of crude oil plus other tactical policies will keep fuel prices and transport fares low.
When the ESLA was passed, one of the things we did, and I think it was covered in graphic recently, was, to take the money that was earmarked in the ESLA, not the entire amount, for payment of subsidy, and to start, what we call the strategic stock, policy, which many countries implement. And the strategic stock policy is a counter-cyclical policy. When we say counter-cyclical, it means certain things move in cycles, right? So you have commodity prices going up, up, then it goes down, right? Then as if in the pendulum it keeps swinging, and then it goes up again. So you are in this circle, which if you do not do anything about, it gives you the expression vicious circle, right? So we thought that subsidy only was not the answer. And so what did other countries and other institutions do or recommend? And we started a strategic stock, which I must say was behind the creation of BOS, bulk oil storage, right? To store bulk oil, you can look at it in terms of we have now become, an oil-producing country. We store the oil, and wait for prices to, when the prices are low, and then sell to make some money. Or in terms of the consumption, which you are talking about, can we stock crude when the prices are low and then sell, when the prices increase? And we did start it. And I must say that it is one of the policies that help us to stop petrol queues, right? And it's also one of the policies that help us to liberalize. Remember, we announced a liberalization in 2015, 2016, and still be able, to manage the price at the pump. And what do? You do just what other countries that with strategic stocks do. When the crude you bought when the prices were low, you release as the price is going up. Remember, you bought them low. So if you bought them at, say, $35 per barrel, right, and prices are going up and it hits 55, and you know that if it hits 60, it will start, people will start feeling the pinch. That is adjustments taking place. Then what do? You release at 53, 55.
Now, a new World Bank report indicates that Ghana accumulated significant government arrears prior to COVID-19 pandemic. This is far higher than the projected arrears post-COVID-19. Charles Nixon has more.
The report, dubbed Finance for an Equitable Recovery, indicates that the percentage of the country's arrears was estimated at almost 5% of the size of the economy. This ranked the nation 16th in sub-Saharan Africa with the highest government arrears. It confirms concerns by some economists and analysts that the country's fiscal situation was deteriorating prior to COVID-19. This was heightened by the rising debt. The report, however, urged governments, including Ghana, to mobilize new revenue to pay off debt incurred for the crisis response and preserve the ability to support the COVID-19 recovery, adding the potential return to economic growth during the recovery will help. It also called for continued access to credit for households and businesses, saying many households and businesses are at acute risk of losing access to formal credit as a result of the COVID-19 crisis. Additionally, such a loss could dampen the recovery.
Well, meantime, an economist with the World Bank, Aurelian Cruz, has been speaking about the contribution of the organization, the World Bank, to deepen Ghana's economic growth amid the pandemic.
At the same time, it's worth noting that we are not still back to the pre-COVID situation either. And that has both negative sides and positive sides. On the negative side, I think it's worth flagging that not all firms are recovering in the same way. There remains a group of firms that is still reporting much lower sales compared to before the pandemic. And second, many firms still report shortages in supplies, especially those that participate in global value chains, which is worrisome. Addressing these issues, therefore, is a very important challenge, not only for the government, but for the development partners and us all as well. But there's also a positive side, which I would like to highlight. And this is, in my view, what we're observing, namely the increased reliance on digital technologies and mobile money. In other words, firms are adopting and have, as a result of the pandemic, accelerated their use of new technologies that we think will allow them to operate more efficiently and more productively in the future. In fact, our recent country economic memorandum, which we titled Ghana Rising, identified the ability of firms to adopt new technologies as a very crucial component for spurring growth going forward. I'd like to now say a few words on what the World Bank is doing in partnership with the government of Ghana to mitigate the negative impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic and leverage also some of the positive transformations that the crisis may have catalyzed. The bank has approved a $250 million loan to boost access to finance for enterprises to the Ghana Development Finance Project, and some $315 million in funding for projects supporting digitalization, jobs, and skills. This is on top of already existing efforts by the World Bank to provide emergency preparedness and response funding and IFC investments in the broadly. The World Bank believes the private sector development is key to sustaining economic growth and creating jobs for Ghana's youth. The Ghana Economic Transformation Project, financed through a $200 million loan, seeks to do precisely that, to promote private sector development and firm growth in non-resource based.
You're watching Business Live. We are taking a short break soon, but not before I tell you about Joy Business Social, which is coming up in about 40 minutes time. We are going to be discussing how you can transform your business with the magic of social media. The guests lined up in your shots: Henry Kobler, lead developer, Eyes of Africa, also founder of Ahwenipa, and Rodena Yamle Odwe, who is CEO of HypeNet Digital Ghana, plus Elinate, project director, Skillmine Africa. That's 6 p.m. across our social media platforms. Make a date if you can. We will be right back. Welcome back to Business Live. We are turning to the agri sector, and senior economist and project manager for monitoring and analyzing food and agricultural policies program, Christian Delagen, says that the over-reliance on cocoa is risky to the future of Ghana's agri sector, hence the need for the country to diversify the industry. There is more in this report by Beverly Broom.
Cocoa makes about 60% of Ghana's agricultural industry, an indication that there is over-reliance on the commodity to the detriment of other crops. Recently, a report by Reuters suggested that Ghana's graded and sealed cocoa arrivals have dropped by 42%. Christian Delagen, senior economist, believes that the future of Ghana's agricultural industry is in danger if the country fails to vary the sector.
What is definitely very important for the future of Ghana's agricultural sector is that it diversifies its agriculture, and I think this is not this message is not new, but it's the over reliance on cocoa is risky, and therefore it's very important that the government invests efforts in diversifying the agricultural sector, diversifying exports, incentivizing the production of different products, whether those are horticultural products in fruits and vegetables, or whether it is also whether it's investing in grains and higher productivity in grains. This is all very important for the future of the agricultural sector.
Christian added that the MAFA program is implemented by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations to support the process of agricultural transformation.
We're focusing both on crops and livestock. And really the objective of the program is to drive the transformation of agriculture by helping the government to make evidence-based policy and investment decisions. And why is that important? Because in the end, farmers and agribusinesses are the ones who are investing the most in agriculture, who are investing the most in their own future and in Ghana's future. But to make sure that they are supported, that they make the right investment decisions, that they maintain trust in agricultural growth, it is very important that they are supported by an enabling environment.
Monitoring and analyzing food and agricultural policies, MAFA program has 8 main partners in sub-Saharan Africa. In Ghana, the program began in 2021 and is expected to end in 2026.
Now, some farmers have accused banks of refusing to fund agribusinesses. According to the president of the Sweet Potato Value Chain Association, Emmanuel Dake, the banks lack understanding of the importance of agri-financing to the economy. He believes that the lack of enthusiasm by banks to support producers of orange-flesh sweet potato is hinged on government's lack of interest in the crop. He spoke at the Sweet Potato Multi-Stakeholder Meeting. Players along the orange-flesh sweet potato value chain have criticized government for the lack of support for the sector. According to them, this has influenced banks to limit support to the sweet potato value chain. Here's President of the Sweet Potato Value Chain Association, Emmanuel Dake.
We've been to the Ministry of Agriculture. We are trying to engage still. We are saying this crop is an orphan crop. Attention is not being given to it as we thought it would be given, since Kofi Annan himself was in Ghana and the government accepted it should be one of the crops. The number of vines even distributed to the districts are so poor. The ones they distributed, I think, a year ago was for only for 3 acres for the whole country. On the financing aspect, I quite say that strongly and emphatically that the banks don't understand agri-financing. So they are lacking. Attention is not being given to this. The banks don't know, or if they know, they are refusing to do. And I think the government has to lead this thing.
Sweet potato breeder and researcher with the Crop Research Institute of the CSIR, Kojo Adofo, disclosed that the Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa invested 80,000 cedis to promote production and consumption of orange-fleshed sweet potato.
AGRA has given us a funding for a consortium to push the agenda of the orange-fleshed sweet potato, which is one of the key crops we research on. As an institution, we receive 80,000 for this 1-year project we are running. And for that matter, capacity building was our main task. And beyond that, we also to provide pre-basic seed. That is the highest grade of quality planting material that we need to start every business of seed as far as the crop is concerned. So we've done our best, and we've even gone beyond the target that we set for ourselves to do under this consortium.
Meanwhile, project manager for OFSP as Fresh Logistics, Benedicta Bartels, highlights the benefits of investing in the orange-flesh sweet potato value chain.
Looking at the foreign markets, over the past few years, the demand for sweet potato has been increasing. Between 2018 to 2019, it increased by 23%. And then the demand, as at that time, was over $6 million worth. So the investment opportunity in this area is very high, both to our farmers, medium-scale investors, high-scale investors, anyone I would advise any investor out there to invest in sweet potato because the crop has a short harvesting period, and then it's easy to manage, and people are gradually accepting it. And you know, a lot of people are health conscious now, so they would want to go in for food which are rich in vitamins and which can help with their health. So people would want such.
All right, and that's our program tonight. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. You can get the day's latest stories from over there, myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time tomorrow.